Hey, Good Friday, Village Bible Church. My name is Jim Robinson. I'm one of your elders and the 9 o'clock Sunday school teacher. So today we're going to talk about Good Friday. Good Friday. I think Good Friday is a bit of a misnomer. It doesn't seem like Good Friday was a very good day for anybody, especially for Jesus. Jesus was betrayed by his inner circle, one of his inner circle. He was beaten. He was slandered. He was tried unjustly. He was beaten again within an inch of his life. And then he was crucified. It wasn't a very good day for Jesus. So in modern Christianity, we tend to take a different kind of look at Good Friday, saying, well, it's a Good Friday because it's good for us. Well, I hate to break it to them, but it isn't good for us. Good Friday was a complete fail. These people that had these super high hopes of Jesus, he died. It was over. It was done. No one was expecting anything. And even miraculous things happening on that day, tombs opening, people stepping out, the curtain being torn, all these blocking out of the suns. Even the centurion was smart enough to say, we just killed God. It was not a good day. But let's look at the word good. In modern culture, good is sometimes bad and sometimes good. We know that Michael Jackson would tell you, I'm bad. Well, he means I'm good. But what do we mean when we're good? Well, I'll tell you what, if you go to the car wash, you want to know what good is. Good is a little bit of recycled water and maybe some soap. That's good. You don't want good. You want premium or you want exclusive. We used to read a book to our children, and it was called Alexander and His Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. Well, very good and very bad sometimes mean very good and very bad, but often it doesn't. To Alexander, it was kind of an exaggeration, but to Jesus, it was a very bad day. Let's talk about good in the instance of your wife asking you how your dinner was. You said, oh, it was very good. I think very good in that example may have been just slightly better than horrible. So we know good in our modern society doesn't carry the same weight as maybe excellent or awesome. Good is just maybe slightly above average, or in many cases, Johnny, you did good in school today. It may be, hey, you didn't go lower than average. So good is something that we define a certain way, but it was defined differently, much like words in English. English is constantly evolving. So let's go back and let's see what we see as far as Good Friday in the past. If you look it up, you will find there's documents going back to the 1200s mentioning Good Friday. Now, Good Friday, much like all the Passion Days, are not named in the Bible. They are something we created afterwards. And so we don't know the exact date, but it was surely before the 1200s. But they use the word Good Friday. And you say, Jim, that's a great piece of trivia, but what does that mean to me? Well, it doesn't mean a lot, but there is something that is really important, and that's the definition of good. At that time, the definition of good was much different than we think of now. The definition of good meant, in many cases, it meant holy. It meant pious. And again, pious nowadays would often be an insult, saying, oh, he's pious. But back then, it meant completely devoted to religion. And in Jesus' case, it meant completely devoted to his Father. So I think now, if we look back on Good Friday and we look at it as being Holy Friday or Pious Friday, I think we get a much better feel of what he was talking about. Because what he did was the fulfillment of John 15:13, where Jesus said, there is no greater love for any man than to die for a friend. So when you think back on Good Friday, just remember that he died for us. It wasn't a good day, but the good day was coming. The promise of our eternal life was coming in just a few short days.